Bella and Sarge, Ginger, Heidi, Shelby, Sophie. More than pets, these dogs are family, and they did nothing wrong. They only gave us their unconditional love and total trust. Sadly, in return, they were given, from our very own hands, the treat that poisoned and killed them. That's why we're here from Animal Parents Against Pet Treats Made in China, to honor them and the countless thousands of others who suffered the same fate from chicken jerky from China. Look at these packages. Aren't they pretty? They draw you right in. The ingredients describe a 100% natural, wholesome treat for our dog. Notice how the packaging draws your eye right to the company name and that it's located in the United States. It even says an American-owned company. And so surely in the United States, in the 21st century, there's no reason to think that anything I purchase at my local grocer is deadly. Certainly it must be a safe and healthy choice, and home it goes. But what we overlooked by design was the small print, made in China. What else were we missing? What we were missing was what the FDA knew about chicken jerky treats from China. They knew. The FDA has issued many cautions, alerts, and warnings about jerky pet treats from China since 2007. 7 years. 2,653 days. The alerts warned of acute kidney and liver failure and other symptoms that we knew all too well. But they said they couldn't enforce a recall because they couldn't find the exact toxin. And these warnings, who was seeing them? They were only on the website. Do you compare your shopping list to the website every time you go shopping? I didn't think so, because neither do I. Tragically, 2011 brought a dramatic spike in complaints, and consumers began searching the internet for answers. We Googled, what killed my dog? Where we landed was the manufacturer's Facebook pages, and what we did find was each other. Each of us was shocked to find we weren't alone and had the same experiences. Shocked to find that the companies would accept no responsibility, even blamed us for overfeeding the treats, as if it's okay for a dog to be killed by a treat. Some of us banded together to fight back. It was beyond all reason that a product that has known risks could still be on the market, actively continuing to put pets in danger. We fought back by creating a place for victims to gather, to share their stories, investigate the issue, and make change. That was the beginning of Animal Parents Against Pet Treats and Food Made in China. The more we learned, the more horrified we became. We began to have an understanding of the conditions that exist in the Chinese chicken farms and factories where these treats were processed. The record for safety was appalling. 2007 had produced the largest pet food recall in history, which resulted in an untold number of tragic pet deaths. It was even proven that there was intentional adulteration. We also learned that pet products in general imported from China were increasing at an alarming rate. Day after day, month after month, we learned of more and more victims of jerky from China. We needed to raise awareness. We needed to figure out what we could do to stop the senseless pet deaths caused by Chinese jerky. Our first success came when the media acknowledged our first petition asking Nestle Purina, the largest supplier, to remove the product from the market until it was proven to be safe. Maybe it had something to do with the adorable but yet tragic picture. But the petition quickly garnered nearly 60,000 signatures, and the seeds were planted. Also, right at this time, several class action lawsuits were filed. It was another blow to us to learn just how cheaply the law values just a dog. The FDA was making an effort. They weren't only just publishing the warnings that hardly anyone knew about. Investigators traveled to China in 2012 to conduct inspections at 5 jerky treat manufacturing sites and came away empty-handed. Chinese government officials refused to allow them to collect samples, and they could only test them in Chinese-run labs, so no samples were collected. We talked to many good folks at the FDA there who were also genuinely frustrated. What was hiding in the Chinese factories? Bernadette Dunham, FDA's director of the Center for Veterinary Medicine, refers to the investigation as one of the most elusive and mysterious outbreaks we've encountered. Then, in January 2013, we were surprised to learn that the top 3 brands were voluntarily withdrawn after testing showed trace levels of illegal antibiotics in the samples. Interestingly, the class action lawsuits that were growing and being joined with others were primarily against these top 3 brands. Of course, the companies and the FDA refused to say that this could have been the cause of any illness. But we cheered, at long last, the deaths and illnesses being reported to the FDA decreased substantially. With the most popular treats gone from the market, we took a breath. We pivoted. We needed to address the heartbreaking fact that all the victims said over and over, "If only I had known. Why didn't the FDA warn me? Why wasn't there a warning label if there are known side effects?" The FDA has always claimed their hands are tied when it came to warning consumers about reported products at the point of sale, but this is no longer true. The Food Safety Modernization Act that was signed into law in 2011 has regulations in Section 211 that could have warned us about the problem. It gives the FDA the power to require postings for consumers at the point of sale, but it has not been funded by Congress. It was dormant. So we started our next campaign directed at the FDA to implement this law. With just a simple piece of paper posted where individual products are sold, millions of families could be spared the consequences of purchasing tainted products. We soon got 22,000 signatures. In February 2014, our champion, Tony Corbo, a senior lobbyist for food safety, hand-delivered the petition to the FDA. Legend has it that he had to scale a mighty mountain of at least 2 to 3 feet of snow, but he did it. And 1 month later, Section 211 was released for public comment and implementation. It was a victory, a small victory, but it's still a victory. Now we need public support to help make this a reality. In the meantime, nothing has really changed. Even though lawsuits against the manufacturers were joined to form several large class action lawsuits, and those manufacturers have tried to have the cases dismissed and have failed, even so, we learned that there were closed-door meetings between the FDA and Nestle Purina, the makers of Wagon Train, the biggest supplier of chicken jerky from China. And a few months later, this past March, Wagon Train chicken jerky came back to the stores with new packaging, even prettier than the old packaging, and just as deceiving. Pretty new packages, same old promise. What happened behind those doors? Is the product fixed, or have the rules been fixed? We know each of these beloved dogs from our group. Each of these little ones suffered terribly, and we're honored to be there to support their families and help them to deal with the tragedy and the overwhelming guilt at being a part of their senseless poisoning. And so the jerky investigation continues to this day. The FDA and the Veterinarian Information Network have finally reached out to veterinarians. As a result of this communication, we anticipate the next FDA complaint update to show a substantial increase in fatalities. Thank you so much for listening to our story. We represent the cautionary tale of what happens when we let Chinese chicken into our country. The truth is, it is an unnecessary risk, possibly a deadly risk. How much more suffering is needed to make that point?